We're a month out from the election between President Trump and Vice President Harris, and everyone wants to know how it's going to affect the housing market and interest rates. The housing market is slumped in June and July, and a lot of people are wondering, is this a sign of a housing crash coming in the future? Governor Newsom is trying to approve $125,000 down payment assistance for illegal aliens in California. I'm Team Lamm, and this is the market update for the month of September. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, subscribe, or leave a comment. We're gonna jump right in. Now, a lot of people have their eyes on the presidential election. They're wondering, will Harris or Trump change the outcome of the housing market? But here's what you really wanna know. Our Federal Reserve has more control right now because of interest rates. And there's a 99% chance that Jerome Powell is going to drop rates in September for the first time in 18 months, which is going to be a new trend for rates going down. The fact is, this has already started, and several of our past clients are refinancing their mortgage, taking cash out, doing things like paying off credit card debt, improving their property, and that trend is only gonna continue post-election. There was a headline that just came out that we saw the lowest number on record for homes sold nationwide. And if you've looked at the housing market, you will see in most markets that inventory or homes for sale has increased and buyer activity has decreased. The important thing that people need to look at is that you cannot measure the housing market month over month. In fact, I'm gonna pull up a slide from Redfin, and if you look at any point over the last 3 years, you will see that between June and July for the last 3 years, housing market always has a little bit of a fall off. But if you zoom out and look at any year, year over year, for the last 10 years, housing market has remained strong, including over the last year with higher interest rates. So when we look at the future of housing in 2025, we know a couple things. We know that we have record low inventory, record high demand, and we're about to see interest rates come down. The chances of a housing crash, they're just not there. Unless millions of people all of a sudden listed their homes and sold it, or we had some sort of a foreclosure crisis, which there's no way that can happen, housing will remain strong. And I think the message people need to hear is, if you're planning on making any sort of real estate transaction, whether you're a first-time buyer, whether you're someone who's been locked up with a really low interest rate on your home, but you would like to go and buy another home and sell your home, the time to get ready and know what those numbers are gonna look like is probably now. You don't really wanna be one of those people jumping in after rates have lowered, because we expect that the market is gonna get very busy by this spring of 2025. The last thing I wanna talk about is Governor Newsom's bill on $115,000 down payment assistance for illegal aliens. Now, just to be clear, I do a lot of down payment assistance loans for young families, and I think they're great. They can literally change the legacy for a family that has never owned a home before. But when we look at some of the things that our elected leaders put out there, there's always going to be unintended consequences. And the fear for something like this is that we don't have enough homes in California, not to rent and not to buy, which is why we have some of the most expensive rentals or homes for sale out of any other state in our nation. And it's because there's simply not enough. So you have a really big population, you have a lot of people that need housing, and there's simply not enough homes for people to buy or rent. And so by throwing money at the problem and giving people big incentives to go out and buy homes, that only makes the problem worse. So we don't know exactly how this thing's gonna play out, but I've had a lot of calls at my office about this. Is it real? How can they do this? Yes, it is real, and this looks like something that's gonna happen. We'll definitely keep you posted on it. But if you have any other questions about anything real estate, I hope you know you can call me at the office anytime. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. I hope you're having a great month so far, and we'll see you next month.